Pack 60 men onto a 70-foot wooden boat. No roof, no plumbing. Salt spray in every wound. Shared food, shared oars, shared everything. By every rule of disease transmission, a Viking longship should have been a floating mass grave. It wasn't. The Norse were not delicate people. They raided coasts from Newfoundland to Constantinople. But somewhere in the historical record, between the burning monasteries and the sagas, archaeologists kept finding something unexpected. Viking combs. Hundreds of them. Finely carved from antler bone, found in nearly every burial, every settlement, every ship context. Not decorations. Tools. Evidence of a people who groomed obsessively, especially at sea. The longship itself was part of the system. Unlike the sealed, bilge-collecting cargo ships of medieval European merchants, the Viking longship had no enclosed hull. It was an open-keeled vessel, sitting low in the water, designed to flex and drain. Every wave that broke over the side carried filth back out with it. The ship did not accumulate. It flushed. Saturday had a name in Old Norse, Laugardagr, washing day. Every week, without negotiation, you bathed. The sagas record this. Arabic traveler Ibn Fadlan, who met a Rus Viking trading party on the Volga River in 922 CE, was astonished by what he witnessed. He watched them pass a single basin around the group, each man rinsing his face and hair in the communal water. He found this disgusting. He wrote it down anyway. The point is, they washed. Ritually. Collectively. On a schedule so ingrained it had its own day of the week. This matters because disease on a ship moves fast. 1 sick man in a crew of 60 is a problem. 10 sick men is a death sentence for the voyage. The Vikings did not understand germ theory, but they understood consequence. A man who smelled, who spread sickness, who let his wounds fester, was a liability to the crew. Social liability in Norse culture carried real weight. Your reputation was your survival currency. You could not afford to be the man who rotted. So the hygiene was not a courtesy. It was a distributed defense system. Every man maintaining himself meant every man protected the crew. That's not medicine. That's engineering. Meanwhile, in medieval European cities, the math was running the other way. London in the 14th century had open sewers running down the center of streets. Physicians wore beaked masks stuffed with herbs, not because it helped, but because they believed bad air caused disease, and smelling flowers might block it. When the Black Death arrived in 1347, it killed roughly 1 in 3 people across Europe. The city of Florence lost 60% of its population in 18 months. The reaction was ritual, prayer, and flight. Nobody thought to wash their hands because nobody had connected dirt to death. The Vikings didn't know the connection either, but they had built a culture where the behavior existed anyway. It was baked into the weekly calendar, enforced by social pressure, embedded in the design of their ships. The knowledge didn't need to be understood to work. It just needed to be repeated. Here is what is genuinely strange about this. The medieval European world had universities. It had Aristotle. It had Galen's medical texts, which were considered authoritative for 1,500 years. The Vikings had none of this. No formal medicine, no theory, just Laugardagr, and a well-made comb and a ship that drained. Formal knowledge and functional knowledge are not the same thing. The Vikings achieved better health outcomes through cultural habit rather than medical understanding. They were healthier because their culture had accidentally solved the problem that European medicine was still trying to theorize. Habit beat theory. Ritual beat scholarship. A weekly bath outlasted 1,000 years of medical philosophy. We tend to assume that the civilization with the better ideas wins, but sometimes the civilization with the better habits does. The Norse didn't need to understand why cleanliness worked. They just had to do it every Saturday, on a ship, in the cold, with everyone watching. The most powerful medicine is the one you practice before you need it.